on, guys? It is Wyatt, and in today's video we're going drag racing again. Vandermeer ended up opening the track this weekend because the weather was pretty nice and offering everybody a little bit extra of test and tune. So it was all day yesterday and all day today from 8 to 5. So Sunday afternoon, figured we'd come out, see if we can get some good passes in. And yeah, so Kyle's out here with us today, and we've already passed tech, and we're gonna get the thing in line and see what it'll run. In the last video, I was upset with the car, but obviously, you know, this transmission in the car is dicked. I hope you guys know that. I mean, the thing's got 250,000 miles on it, and it was ran without fluid for at least 20K of them. Like, when I bought the car, the transmission was empty, completely dry, and the dude had been driving it back and forth to Denver and like all over Colorado. So yeah, so the tranny's dicked, but I did pick up a GSR tranny, and I also got another big surprise for you guys, so we will go over that later on in the video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's see what the car will do and jump into it. What doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. I heard. What is this, Paul?
Bro, it's a fucking homemade grill, dude.
You're gonna cook up my
Buick
steak?
antenna for the fucking.
Oh my god. I'm gonna use my Buick grill to cook up my steaks at the track. Boy, I tell you what.
Yeah, that's nice, very cool. Yeah.
Your slime pretty soon,
on your vehicle, huh?
Yeah.
I just burnt the coal and then I put on my little inside my horrible. Oh. Thank you. Man, that was horrible. That was a 13285 at 113. I let out because the freaking boost gauge went up to like 30 PSI, and I thought I had turned it down. Whew! That thing buried that 30 PSI gauge.
Eight 7 13 2.
What's going on, guys? We are back at the shop. I have the car pulled in, and as you can see, I have my compression checker on the motor. So you already know that don't mean nothing good. I didn't film it. Nothing really dramatic happened anyways, which is good, I guess. But the motor is hurt, and I'm going to show you just why exactly here in a second. Before I even get into that, I want to make it clear that this has nothing to do with tuning or anything like that. It was just the cheap parts that I put in this car that failed. And I'm not knocking on anybody. Like, I knew these parts in the motor were not made to do what I'm doing with them. You know, we're pushing like 650 crank horsepower out of this thing, and what happened is it more than likely broke a ring-land on the piston, and these pistons were only rated for like 450 wheel horsepower. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Like, I'm 99.9% sure that's what happened. But like I said, it has nothing to do with tuning. I pulled the plugs. All the plugs look good. It's running perfect. It just, you know, at 30 pounds of boost or whatever, these pistons were not designed for it. They're just an as-cast aluminum piston, cheap piston. I think the kit itself was like $190 or something. So they did last a long time for how much abuse we were giving them, which I'm actually really surprised with. But I'm kind of pissed off that, you know, they did fail, but I can't really blame anybody. I mean, I knew it was going to happen eventually. So I'm going to show you guys that and also give you some insight on a new project. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys the compression test. I'm going to show you what a good one looks like first, and then what a bad one looks like after that. So let's get into it. So like I said, we're going to jump into a compression test real quick. And what this does is you crank over the motor, and when the cylinder is under pressure, it captures it inside of this gauge. It doesn't let it escape when the valves open. And this way you can see just how much pressure the combustion cylinder is making. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's the gist of it. And typically you want around 150 on something like this, 150 psi. And this is a good cylinder, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what that is, and then we'll go to the bad cylinder and show you the lack thereof combustion pressure, which would make the car, I mean, it would not run as well. You know, there's a bunch of other things that go along with it, but this demonstrates that obviously something is broken, and like I said, it's more than likely a ring-land. So let's go ahead and crank this thing over, and I'll show you what a good cylinder looks like. So that one there makes about 145 psi, and that is what a good cylinder looks like. So we're going to swap this over to the bad cylinder and show you guys what's going on there. So here is the bad test. This is the number 2 cylinder. As you can see, I have the compression checking tool in there. It's all the way down and tight, so there will be no leaking air. And you can watch the gauge as we crank the motor over. As you can see, thing's making a max of about 60 psi, which is not good. Even on a like totally loose, worn out, fucking 300,000 mile motor, it would not usually be this bad. So like I said, it probably cracked a ring-land, and it's just not holding any combustion pressure. And I knew it was getting worse because, as you can see down here, my oil catch can looks all oily, and the vent has a lot of oil on it. So it's obviously just pumping oil out of the motor because it has so much blow-by. And that's kind of how I noticed it at first, is I noticed the car was smoking a lot more than it usually does. and I think it's been going out, or it had a small crack in it for a while or something, because when I first put this motor together, this thing did not smoke really at all. And then ever since I've been turning it up more and more and more, the smoke has gotten worse until today. After a pass, I noticed when waiting in line that like it was just a constant stream of smoke coming out of the overflow catch can dealio. And obviously that means there's way too much blow by and crankcase pressure in the motor, which this still does a good job of venting all that, but along with that you get a visual, a lot more smoke out of it. So unfortunately it sucks that the motor is hurt, but in the last video I showed you guys that new block that I got that is already a CNC block guarded B18 B1, and we'll probably use that block now that this one is probably scored from the ringland being broken. And yeah, I hope nothing in the head is messed up, but other than that, we're gonna probably get the motor pulled out and dig into it here in the next week or so and see exactly what happened, which will be cool. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it just cracked a ringland, and there's nothing really you can do about that. You use cheap parts, you get cheap performance, and that's exactly what happened. So that'll probably be it for this video. I do have a big surprise for you guys, but I'm not going to show you it in this one. I know you guys are going to be hurt, but I think it'll be good to do. Needless to say, the DA shell is going away, and the channel name might be changed to Sketchy EK. So we'll see. I'm not positive on it yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. And like I said, I know some people will be hurt. You really like the DA, but this thing is really just beat to crap, and it's just not worth putting more money and time in to get it to go any faster or anything like that. Now, before you guys knock me saying that, oh, it just has little things wrong with it, you can see here, this car in the previous owner had wrecked this thing like twice and jumped it and all kinds of stuff. So as you can see, this whole radiator support is all mangled up. So you can see here, it's bent down like a full inch because it got caved in like that, as opposed to this side, which comes down nice and straight. And so yeah, that side's really jacked up. I'm pretty sure the unibody on this car is also bent, because this tire, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it in the video, obviously has negative camber to it, and this thing has all brand new stock suspension stuff on it. It has brand new stock lower control arms, stock tie rods, stock upper control arms, and obviously somewhere where they mount is bent, because with a stock setup it should have about a 0 degree of camber on it, because this side has perfectly 0 degrees of camber. And yes, I've checked it. I have a buddy with an alignment rack. That side has a lot of camber on it when this side is perfectly straight. So like I said, this car has been jumped, put through a ditch before. Like, it's just not straight enough to even worth messing with anymore. And like I said, if I pick up this EK I'm looking at, a lot of the stuff in this will go in that car, so it'll be a quick cookie cutter setup. And most importantly, we're going to be keeping the seats out of this thing, which are bad. And yeah, like I said, this thing's just seen better days. So I'm going to pull all the usable stuff out of it, probably all the windows, all the running gear, all of that stuff, tail lights, you know, everything that's usable that somebody might want. And this thing's just going to be a completely bare shell. That's all it's going to be. Like, no tires, no spindles, nothing on it. I'm going to just set it up on the trailer and rip all the stuff off of it and completely scrap it out. So if you guys need anything, I'll get a whole list of stuff put together that came out of the car. And, you know, littler things like the taillights for the right price I might ship, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, it's got some good parts if you're local, like bumper covers, they're in decent shape, you know, little things like that. But otherwise, like I said, if this project goes through, I'm going to be scrapping the DA. It's been fun, but you know, I want to move on to a newer chassis that's a lot easier to get parts for. And you know, everybody makes aftermarket stuff for the EKs, which is kind of why I want to do one of those. I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset seeing it go, but like I said, the new project car, I think you guys are going to like it. We're going to actually do it right this time, and you know, we'll do a full build-up series on it over the winter, because this is the last day of test and tune, so there's no more track events. The snow is going to start flying here in the next couple weeks here in Colorado, and like I said, this new project, I think it'll be cool, and I'll make a bunch of videos on that for you guys because I'm sure you will all enjoy it. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it was pretty short and, you know, not very sweet because there wasn't a lot of video of racing or anything like that. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to share with you guys that the motor is hurt, and it's just going to give me more motivation to go on with this new project that I have in mind. So I hope you guys enjoy it and want to look forward to seeing that as much as I do. I think it's going to be freaking awesome. And yeah, that should do it for this one. So thank you guys for watching. Please give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.